music in the background while we getting ready. That's too fast. All right, hopefully that's better.
I'm trying to.
There we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I wanted the music to put down underneath.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just recapping with my pen from last week, part one, while we go into part two.
Excellent. Let's see here. Oops.
I watched an interesting movie on the plane, so I can't wait to share that. So that was pretty.
On the
But
planes?
the plane.
Oh, the plane. Oh, on the plane ride. You keep
Yeah.
getting those planes where you can watch movies and stuff.
Oh, I right now, listen, I'm a Delta girl. I am a Delta girl, let me tell you. Yes, that is my favorite flight. Did you ever catch Virgin Airlines when they were in existence?
Uh-uh.
Let me tell you something about Virgin. That flight had the best vibe that I ever have seen on a plane ever. The lighting and the whole vibe. I was like, when my daughter take this, when she got her first Virgin flight, I was like, she is not going to want to fly anything else. And as soon as she got off that plane, she was like, "Mom!" I was like, I already know. It was the livest plane. So next to them, I haven't flown international yet, but next to them, Virgin. Next to Virgin, Delta
Mm-hmm.
is that is my that's my go-to. If I can catch, unless it's $100 more, I'm catching Delta. Like
See, and I'm
I
a
love
Southwest
Delta.
guy.
Let me tell you, Delta, I have so much room. The seats are nice. I have room to take off my shoes, and I have stuff under the seat, and I always take off my shoes. That's
Okay.
another story. I take off my shoes as soon as I get on the plane, and I take off my shoes, and I have so much room and leg room and stuff. And then you watch the movies. I'm telling you, Delta is where it's at. This is not a promotion for Delta, but I, like it's so roomy. You know what I mean? And then Southwest, you gotta hey man. But I love Delta. But no, one time I had my boots on and I take off my shoes on the flight and I literally took off my boots, stuck them on top of my, I always have my laptop with me. So I had my laptop all the way under the seat and I put my boots.
Mm.
And at the end of the flight, I was like, put my boots back on. I was like, put my boots.
Mm.
And the guy in front of me, the guy next to me, he took out his little flashlight because it's a boot. Like, it's huge. So he's looking. It's a tall boot, He's looking. I'm like, how did my boot just come up missing? Like we've been nowhere but sitting right here. And the people in front of me, I tapped the lady on the shoulder. And she's a black lady. I said, "Excuse me, is my boot up there?" This lady reached in front of her seat and was like,
Here's your
"Is this?"
boot.
I was like, "How did my boot get all the way up there?" Oh, that was funny. It
Mm-mm-mm.
was funny. That is my taking off my. But yeah, I get on the plane and I wear my tennis shoes or boots or something because you got to do a lot of walking. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't wear cute shoes because Atlanta airport you got to get in, you got to catch the tram, and you got to go down
Okay.
through security down, catch the train to your terminal, then go all the way back up. So it's a lot of walking. So I usually just wear tennis shoes or something comfortable, but I don't wear like cute shoes all the time to the
To the
airport.
airport.
But I try to dress like if they want to pull me in first class, I'm ready. Come on, somebody. Feel me?
Amen.
Feel me. So
Like I
got to
will be
carry myself
riding
appropriately.
today. We will be
Yeah.
in first class.
So you want to go ahead and kick us in? Oh, hold on, hold on. I got to pull up the.
Comments. Uh-oh. Got frozen on me again. Oh, here we go. The internet is not our friend today, but we are going to make the best of everything. It's one of those days, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you are joining us, good morning. TK will be right back in a couple seconds. And in 5, 4. There we go. See, I told you. Boom.
I lost you. I changed screens to go to the tagline.
Oh, you can't change screens. Your phone won't let you. You got to probably pull it up on your computer. I can handle a tagline today if you like.
But you texted to me. I know. I can't pull up. Couldn't text it. All right, go ahead. We ready? We ready?
You ready? Let's see here. Let me go to the boom. All right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Hey. Here we go. That's right. We're going to start this off with a nice little party. We're getting it moving today. Good morning, Melanie. How you doing? Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Michael Melvin, one of your hosts for the Black Filmmakers Lounge. Today with me is Tamira TK Henderson, our other host. We're going to be hanging out. Today's topic is real simple. We're going to continue to part 2 of building a team. That's right, part 2. We're going to do that, and we're going to talk about what we're watching. And of course, anything else that's going on in the industry, we know, we're here. This is where to have fun. If you got Q&A, throw your questions up in the comments. Let's get this moving. And if you want to know about the Black Filmmakers Lounge Saturday morning in the industry Shoptalk, yes, that's what we are. The Black Filmmakers Lounge is where independent filmmakers, whether novice or professionals, come together to gain insight and perspective through education, information, networking, and to discuss industry best practices that will advance the Black independent film community. So that is what we are about. Keep that in mind. And today, let's have some fun. Let's get this going.
What's up? Woo, child. Yes, you hear my voice. Party like a rock star. Party like
You
class
know,
of
my nephew
91.
wrote that.
Oh, I think you told me that.
Yeah.
I think
Of
you
course,
told me that.
the real version isn't clean. It's not something my mama would want to hear.
Oh, listen, I think that's all I've heard is the edited version. Maybe.
Well, you heard the version they sold to the group.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I had to cough right there. Things go down the wrong way. How are you
Oh, boy.
doing? Ooh.
Oh, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm happy. Class of 91 reunion, 30 plus year. We pushed it off because of COVID. And then we were trying to set a date, and we finally ended up setting a date for June of this year.
Okay.
And so it's our 30-year class reunion, class of 91, but it's kind of 30 plus because we had to add. So yeah, so we had a great time last night. I'm excited about tonight. I'm one of the hosts, and so yeah, so getting together balloons and decorations and cake and banners and woo, and I am not the creative. So it took me about 2 weeks to figure out a banner. It took me about 3 weeks to figure out a backdrop. Listen, and if you see what I came up with, or what my mom helped me come up with in 3 weeks, you'd be like, really, that's what it is? I'm not creative in that area, but we got it done. We got it done. So yes. So what you watching, Mr. Melvin? What you watch this week?
Oh, it's funny. One of the groups I'm in, that was the question. What are you watching? I've been watching Obi-Wan, The
Mhm.
Boys, the new season. The 3rd season is in effect. I been watching this cartoon called The Ultimate Spider-Man, which is on Disney Plus, and that's what else? Is that it? I think The Boys. Oh, Miss Marvel. We watched that. Tiffany and I watched that the other night when I was watching Obi-Wan.
What did you think about that?
It was interesting. It flows like a comic book, which it is. It's about Camilla Khan, who is the next Miss Marvel, and so she's I can't remember her nationality. I don't want to say Pakistani, but she but Muslim and everything. And excuse me, I don't know, somewhere down the wrong way. But it's a good show so far. I mean, it's for a younger crowd, and the presence of social media and YouTube and all that is built to the show. Going to cons, so stuff that young people do. So if you're young people, it's built in that universe. So that's a good place for it. If y'all happen to hear music in the background, yeah, we got music playing in the background. Makes the flow a little bit.
Got a little something going on. Good morning, Melody. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
All music playing is royalty free, by the way, so do not try to hit me with copyright infringement because I pay for this service.
Bam. Bam. Okay, cool. Anything else?
That's currently that's pretty much it. I got some things I need to probably check out. Oh, you know what? We did start the season of Read Between the Lines, which was an old BET show with Malcolm Jamal Warner and Tracy Ellis Ross. And excuse me, and Tiffany was like, okay, because she didn't quite remember it as much. And I was like, yeah, I really liked the show. I thought it was a very positive show. And Tiffany was telling me that Tracy Ellis Ross had left the show to work on Blackish. And I was like, wait, those are years apart, though. I thought those shows were years apart. But I guess, I like Blackish. Read Between the Lines reminds me of a Cosby Show-esque type show. Even the music in it gave the Cosby vibes. It was a positive show, but it was kind of very modern to the time period. Both shows, Cosby, to me, the show still reigns today. It can really talk about family structured issues and things like that. But I think that's why I like that, My Wife and Kids. So Read Between the Lines to me is a good show. And it shows a black couple, a prominent black couple. They're both doctors. He's a college professor, English. She's a psychiatrist or a therapist, with PhD. So, and they're children. Like, he married her. She already had the twins, and they have a kid together. So you get that. And I think the other show I kind of liked around later era was Are We There Yet? When Ice Cube made it a show. Because I like the Terry Crews aspect and essence. I think when you pick good characters to play a couple and you show marriage, whether it's a blended marriage, whether it's a traditional marriage, I think that those dynamics lend itself well to help families. And let's just think about it. If we start really talking about black families with shows like that, maybe it'll give people inspiration on how to parent and do what they need to do. As an educator myself, I see a lot happening in schools, and I'll tell anybody, your kid is who they really are when they ain't around you.
Absolutely.
That's who they are. Who they are when they're around you, because they know, oh, mom and dad gonna get me, but they act up and act a fool in school. That's why I used to tell people, pop up on your kid while they at school. Don't tell them you're coming. Just show up and see how they acted. Maybe you might find they're not even in their class. But you see our parents, everybody, I'm busy. Yeah, you can be busy, but don't be too busy. COVID taught a lot about parenting for a lot of people, and how much a relationship they really have with their kids. Because imagine spending every single day with your child versus not seeing them for 8 hours, and then you see them for the final 4 hours of their day. Because if you think about it, parent gets home after 5 or 6, and they with the kid and they put them to bed around close to 8 or 9. They didn't really spend a day with them. The most they spend is the weekend. That's easy. It's the week. That's the real stuff. So,
Oh, absolutely, absolutely,
that's what I watch. What you
absolutely.
watching?
I watched episode of In the Heat of the Night, and then I watched but interesting enough, because I told you it's starting to In the Heat of the Night is, you all know, hey Jaden, good morning.
What's up, Jaden?
It's one of my favorite shows. And while I'm watching it, I'm starting to look at the remember I told you I'm starting to look at the angles.
Mm-hmm.
Like how they're not doing all these different freaking angles, and the show still looks great. Like there may be just one scene where they did a simple center on, I don't know what the shot is called, but just straight on shot. We got the scene done and we're out of there. And it you know what I
Right.
mean? It didn't have all cut different angles and stuff. So I'm starting to actually look at it in a different light of as just my favorite show to enjoy. I'm actually starting to, I feel study it more, especially like the dialogue and stuff.
Mm.
The man was like, the man was like, do they have a telephone? And she said they barely have a roof. I was like, whoop.
Mm.
That, I mean, it was like, huh. So I'm starting to really enjoy it on another level, because like I said, I'm just enjoying it because I really love the show. But now I'm starting to really just pay attention to the camera angles and just other things about it. So watch that. I watched. I am working on a producing a show with a good friend of mine, and I had to. So I've been doing some research. So I've
Okay.
been watching a lot of HDTV. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
HDTV, and so they have a lot of home improvement shows on Tubi,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them are in different countries and stuff. And so I've been going through all the different streaming platforms, research. Talked about that last week, and other weeks. So I've been going through all the different streaming platforms, pulling up these home improvement shows and stuff. So I've been doing all of that, and so I watched a lot of shows, and I actually watched Little John's show. Little John did
Oh
watch
yeah, yeah. We watched that earlier this week too.
good.
There was an episode where they had to make a slide and the kids like rock climbing and stuff. That came
Did I
on.
see that one? I've seen number one and two, but then it's a couple of others. So I've seen a lot of them. And so Tubi, check this out. So Tubi has bought or they have the most home improvement shows on their streaming platform.
Oh
They
wow.
have a massive amount compared to everybody else. Everybody else may have one, two, or none.
Right.
Tubi has so many. As a matter of fact, it might be like almost 80, but a lot of them are older shows or shows from other countries. Which
Okay.
streaming, Tubi is all over the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was interesting. A lot of them are older shows.
Oh, okay.
So
Because they
I
probably
watched
took.
that. So
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was thinking because you have the Discovery Plus, which now owns Discovery owns HGTV and all these other things. So I wonder if Tubi took all the stuff that Discovery Plus isn't showing, especially when it comes to minorities.
And I'm telling you, and you know what? I found maybe a couple of minority shows, if that,
Mm-hmm.
no more than two. So no more than two minority shows. And hey, Darrell, good morning, cousin.
What's up,
And
Daryl?
so really, I found so far maybe two. One was an interracial couple. One is a black couple out of Fort Worth. I haven't watched their show yet. But when I tell
Okay.
you some of the shows I'm clicking on are from 1981.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a lot of stuff. So I'm going through that. So I'm doing the research, going through that. And then, okay, so on the plane, I came across a movie called The Intouchables.
Okay.
So I wanted to do my research before I got on here. Intouchables and Upside were the same exact story. The only thing that was
Oh.
different, when I'm telling you, it started, except it was shot in Paris with Dennis Quaid. Um, it was, I'm pretty sure it was Dennis Quaid. but the way they started the car ride in the beginning, how he was running from the police,
Mm-hmm.
how the poetry, how he was writing the lady the letter for 6 months, the what's it called, paragliding,
Okay, yeah.
parasailing, the
Eh,
parasailing, the with the guy. I mean, when I tell you it was the same story. The only thing that was different is the guy had a daughter,
Okay.
and instead of like when Kevin Hart had his, you know, child's mother and the child, he was trying to get back in good with. It's this guy had an aunt that raised him, and like some cousins. But
Okay.
that was it. They were smoking weed, they had the hook, everything. It was the same story.
So maybe it's Paris's version of it because like we do it and they do it. Like if you look at some things like The Ring, there's a lot of movies that came from foreign films that we remake over here. And there's a version of um,
Really.
what women want in Korea and other places that's the same thing as the American version, but just the actors are of that nationality, that country.
So it looked like I didn't get like I said, I didn't get to do my research, but if I was to guess, I think that movie looked like it was shot before The Upside.
Okay. Because I know The Upside was based on a true story, and at the end they show you the real people, the black
They
guy.
showed that's what they did with it.
Oh, okay. So
That's
maybe they took it.
but and they said like the guy in the wheelchair, they said he had got remarried and had two more kids, and then they said Philip Felipe, whatever. He is Philip with an E. He was also married and had three kids. So I was like, dang, I can't wait to talk about this, but I totally forgot to make sure I pulled it up to check to see which one was made first, because I'm telling you, when I tell you it was the same exact story, y'all, it was the same exact story for
Right.
your creative team, James Press Carter. Good morning, James.
Good morning, James.
So
How you doing?
that's what I watched. But let's get into it.
Building your team. All right. Just a heads up, TK. I hear your earrings. When you
You can see
talking
my
your
ears
earrings and hit your thing.
because I move like this. I got to take some interview classes because, okay, now I'm going to try not to move my head. Can you hear
Right.
when I
Now
don't move?
you good, you good. But I was just letting you know because I was like, what is that clicking? And then I had to mute me and see if it was still there. Then I'm looking at you like, wait, oh, it's the earrings.
I told I told someone I got to take some interview classes. I got to find some interview take classes because I move my head a lot when I talk. And so when I go back and look at my interviews and stuff, I'm like, I have to. Thank you, Jade, and thank you. I have to go back and
Uh-oh. She'll be back in a moment. We've been having a little bit of internet trouble here and there. But we are we definitely glad to see each and every one of you today. It's one of those Saturdays that the internet's saying, hey, I don't know if I feel like working today. How you guys doing? So, but we're glad that each and every one of you are joining us for the Black Filmmakers Lounge Saturday morning in the industry shop talk. So just to rehash what we were talking about last week, because we were discussing building your team. And last week, we discussed the best ways to build your team, right? Oh, same thing, Melanie. This week has been the same for you on the internet. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Look, everything's going up in price, and everybody's like, "We're going to charge them more. Let's dumb down the service and just do what we need to do." Thank you. Yeah, we wanted to make sure we do a part two. We were hoping to do this the whole month about team building and having the right people to work with for your productions. Yeah, you know what? I have Xfinity, and my Verizon Wireless yesterday, my bars were down. Um, but yeah, we want to make sure that you're building the right team of people that you can work with. And we were talking last week about the different stages. So quick recap was the people you want to work with to develop your story. You know, your script writer, having a team of people that can give you insight on your script and the storyline that you have. What's up? What's up, Craig? And so you want to have those people that can give you the feedback, fresh eyes on your work, and see where you're going and question your story. That way there's no plot holes, as we discuss when we watch movies. Oh, there was a plot hole in this. Oh, I saw this. So you want to try to eliminate as much as possible on the plot holes, even though you're not going to get rid of it all. I've never seen a perfect movie or a perfect story. I just want everybody to know. There's a lot of stuff I like, and we're like, oh, it's awesome. But you'll still find stuff in them. So if we're always trying to be overly perfected, we try to be too perfect, we'll never get anything out. You know, it's just, that's the truth. We enjoy good storytelling. And I think that was what TK was mentioning earlier. You know, it's a good story is a good story. And hopefully she'll drop back in because I don't see her, but I heard a call. So after that, we talked about once you build your crew and you got your script together, we talked about getting your pre-production team together. And those are the people, your producer. If you're a producer, you got another producer, maybe somebody who's working with you, your assistant producer. Then you have get your director, unless you're directing. But you want to have multiple people involved. The mistake we make, and I know this for every first timer, we all do this. We try to do it all. And so we have to pay attention to that. Okay. That we can't do it all. You know, filmmaking is a team building career. It is not something you just do by yourself. You know, I saw this guy, he did a whole animated movie by himself. But there's things he could have used other people for, voices, help flesh out a story better, things like that. We can only go, sometimes we go far, but then we can only go far as the people around us. And again, if you're a weak link by yourself, you're only as good as your weakest link, right? So I think, and this is just me, I think that we're sold a bill of goods about being independent. And independent in business is different. When we talk about independence on independent filmmaking, we're talking about we're not part of a major studio like a Disney or Warner Brothers or Universal or anything, or Sony or things like that. We're independent filmmakers, but we're not independent. We're not doing this alone, right? But we keep trying to become the things we are sold is the overnight success, which I think is hurtful, and that you can do it all by yourself. We are social people, and a lot of the careers, we need to connect with people. And I think some of us are introverts, some of us are extroverts. And when you know that about yourself, you make the connections. That's why we always talk about networking. But we also, the proper etiquette of and way to network is very important. So like I said, we're waiting on TK hopping. But that's very important that we have the right people around us who can get the train moving. And when you know what you need, because one, research, education, learning. We talked about some books last week. We posted them on the Facebook page and on the community group. So you can see those books there that we suggest that are good reads, whether you're trying to be a director, a producer, make your own short film, whatever it is you're trying to do, or script writing. We posted those books up. And we have more books we'll start posting because between TK and I, we have libraries. I mean, I have tons of bookshelves and boxes. I haven't even finished setting my room up, my office. I have to revamp it. But when I think about working with other people, everybody's a leader. You do have a main leader. And here's why I say everybody's a leader. When you see the main leader struggling, you have to step in and balance the situation out. Where somebody's weak, you're strong. That's why one of the things I was telling TK, and I don't know if I brought up on the show, where people should do team building activities prior to filming, so they can get to know your strengths and weaknesses. They can get to know how you problem solve, because every business is about providing a service and solving a problem. That's what we do. When you're a business owner, you come up with a solution. Products are solutions. You know, when somebody saw that people were probably flying out the windows of cars, they said, hey, let's invent the seatbelt. When they saw that you need to twist the top, there's always something. Somebody goes, oh, I need something in my car to hold my drink while I drive because I can't do both all the time. I got to really control it. Oh, let's come up with a cup holder. Oh, I need something to keep my cup cool while it's in the holder. So they come with a cup holder that keeps your drink cold. There's just so many different ways. When you see a problem, you come up with a solution. Filmmaking is the same thing. We want to tell great stories that get people involved and help them escape their world or see the world or gain a perspective or insight. That's what, I don't know. That's why I ask people, why are you making films? I think that's the first question I have to ask people, because too many of us do it just because of money. If it's just because of money, yes, this is a business. But if it's just because of money, then just go remake something that's been made already. Do the assembly line like Hollywood used to do. I mean, people still watch. We pretty much watch the same stuff. So that's nothing unique about it. But as independent filmmakers, we can tell different and better stories. We're not confined or restricted to trying to get rich quick. Because again, filmmaking has money in it, but not a lot for everybody. It's not, your first movie isn't going to instantly make $1 million all the time. It just doesn't really work that way. But it does have the ability to make a profit. Now it comes down to marketing and other factors. Here we go. Hopefully TK can hop in. I want to see your picture now. Oh, Lord. So there's all these factors that come in play. So we have to think about those things. Oh. So I'm going to call her and have TK talk too. So y'all might not see TK, but you're going to hear TK. Let's do it that way. Because I don't know why she's having eCam trouble. Unless, make sure you're using the Google app. Let me call her in. We do apologize for this, because we normally don't run into this stuff, but it happens. So here we go. Giving TK a call right now. Oh, let's see if she gets. I was calling her. All right. Stuff happens. We just, but again, we got to look at how the industry is and how we're impacted. Hopefully she'll answer this one right here.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We put you on. We're just going to have a little space that just has you. She's right here. Just pretend she's right here with us. Hey, TK. I was recapping last week.
You guys.
I know. I don't know what's going on.
No. So my phone overheated and it shut down.
Oh.
And so, okay. So, but when I restarted it and tried to get back on, I tried 3 times to get eCam and it wouldn't let me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was the weird part. I was literally, when you called the first time, trying to get in again, and it was saying connecting, but it didn't connect me. Can't see you guys. Boo. Okay.
So I was just a quick. What I was sharing was recapping from last week.
Yes.
But also sharing the necessity of why we need to build teams for filmmaking, that we really can't do this alone, and we are sold the bill of goods that we can be independent and we can make it on our own. And if you actually, and I'm going to say this, if you actually research, a lot of people, even Elon Musk and all this, they have a group of people in the background that work with these guys. They're not becoming billionaires all by themselves. It's very rare. They got a lot of people around them, or a core group. Usually core group means somewhere between 3 or 4 people that they work with that they keep rising together and getting rich, and they invest in each other's businesses. Just go do some research on these different people who you see are very wealthy and how they got there. They're not there by themselves. Mark Zuckerberg, if you watched social media, had a team, you know. So we need to make sure that we have a legitimate team that we can work with.
And guys, I know sometimes you feel like, I haven't had the experience as much, thank God, but sometimes you feel like you just cannot find people who are serious, people are, who want to be loyal, that really are, really in it. And the truth is there are people out there, but the problem is we get a lot of counterfeits. And that's just like, I'm a spiritual woman. So it's just like, we get a lot of counterfeits, and then we finally figure out, wait a minute, let me do this way, or let me seek it this way. And God will start putting those people in your life. They will show up. And I am a living proof of that, because the people I am connected with now, you guys have no idea. Y'all have no idea the people I'm connected with now. And then a lot of the other people that I'm like 1 degree away from so many people, it's ridiculous. I'm like, you work with them, or them, or it's crazy. It is crazy, but only because I've just kind of just sat back and allowed, God to place things in my life, and so I found a lot of people that are loyal and serious, and that we get stuff done. So been totally blessed with that. But just to recap, the number one was the script team, about, this helping you with the story, flesh out the story, right, reading the script, and the giving you notes, finding holes. And like we said, be open, because there are some things I'm like, y'all don't get that. I don't want to change it, this, and that. And people are like, okay, 3 people have said it. Okay, let me figure out the way to tell it different, because we're in this business and we have to have thick skin. We have to have thick skin, and we have to have perseverance. And I think everybody that is listening live or on the replay, you all will definitely agree. You have to have perseverance, and you have to be willing to, sacrifice.
Right. Absolutely. Actually,
and you have to have tough skin, for sure.
I'm going to share. Melanie said, absolutely so critical to have that team to show you your blind spots and challenge your work.
Absolutely. 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 And then the second team we talked about was bringing on the producing director, mm-hmm, to help find funding, or to help, period, bring your vision, or not to help, but to help, to bring your vision to life. Because they when you hire them, you're telling them your vision, you're showing them what you want, and then you got to let go, put complete control. Woo! I'm like, ooh, okay.
And I'm going to interject this part. I am a person that I've heard this term thrown around loosely, and it's the words, I would love to partner with you. And the reason I'm saying it's thrown around loosely is this. Usually when somebody comes to me and they go, I would love to partner with you, they're not always bringing anything to the table. They see that you have the things they need, but they have no money. They have no experience. They have no understanding. And so they see it as a partnership. And it's not.
And that's what you have to be careful of, because because you have those people that's what I'm talking about, the counterfeits. Literally, I'll have people that call me and say, I want to, like you say, partner with you on Whatcha. And I'm like, so what's up? What you got? Well, I have this idea and I want you to write it. Okay, first of all, I have 15 original scripts by myself, full features by myself. And God didn't put me in this business and didn't give me any vision of stories. So you want to give me a paragraph and you want me to write the whole script for free and put our names on it as writers.
Right. And so Jacoby said they want to mooch or leech. And And that's the thing. Like, it's, to me, a partnership is you bring something to it's a mutual thing. I believe
Yeah.
that we are not independent, but we're interdependent. And interdependency is basically we have a mutual agreement that we're going to bring something to the table, and we're dependent upon one another mutually to play their position, their part, to make this vision come to life.
Expectations, guys. Because none of us, let me tell you something, not a single one of us, none of us are desperate. Do you understand me?
Mm-hmm.
None of it. With the sacrifice and the perseverance and this and that, people like, oh, we'll give you $500, this and that. Baby, please. That script is still sitting right there. You're not going to give me $500 and gorilla shoot my script. That's what we're not about to. You know what I mean? They just like,
Yeah.
well, at least you this and at least you that. And then they try, at least you have something out there. At least you have something. At least you this. Listen, I always say I don't beg for scraps. And I wasn't put here to just throw stuff up.
Yeah.
That's not how any of us, are supposed to be in this business. We're created. If we're created to be a creator, we need to create good quality work that we can stand on and be proud to show and proud to put our name on it, and other people be proud to put their name on your project.
And it's about being creative. Like every business, well, I was saying businesses come out of problem solving and coming up with solutions, but they also come out of creativity, because creative works makes the world go round. If you think about it, there's a whole industry, comic book lovers who buy toys, buy comic books, go to Marvel movies, DC movies, simply because this whole universe is more than just one product. And I mean, you take a George Lucas and you research him, they have books, they got music, they got toys, they got paraphernalia, they got everything off of a movie. And he didn't give those rights up.
He didn't get those rights up. That's why we have to be careful when we're jumping into stuff, especially at the beginning. Because at the beginning, I know, it's not more of a desperation in the beginning. It's more of this is an opportunity. But then you have to realize what you're giving up, because there are times you're going to have to give up stuff, and there are times you don't have to give up stuff. And that's why, like you said, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and all these people, you have a team to go. You have a solid team that you can present this to and say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. Just like in life. I compare everything with screenwriting in life.
It is life.
Just like life. How somebody presents you with a job, an opportunity, anything, and you go to somebody and you pray about it, and you go get advice, you talk to your people, your close people you can find and may give you some advice in the industry. We go talk to these people to make the best sound decision.
Right.
And it's the same thing. It's the same. Nothing is different. It's just a different area of your life. So it's just a creative portion versus regular life.
So let's talk about the next part of team building, because I know we're going to give you guys a little bit extra time just because of our problems we encountered. Just a little bit.
Our problem. It was my problem. But thank you for But so the second team we talked about was, of course, the director producer. The third team is the crew,
right?
Which are producer. Most of them have relationships with crews. The fourth one was the actors, whether you're going to hire local, whether you're going to put a couple of names in it, however you do, but making sure the actors will respect the set, respect no different from the director, producer, and the crew. Everybody has to have a respect for the set. Show up on time, do a good job, and those other expectations that you said at the beginning. And that's why I'm so big on taking care of people. If anybody has ever worked on set with me, you can type it in the chat, how I handle people. And I am the PA. I handle the people as a PA. I handle people with a level of respect, care, concern. I'm doing everything. I will hear a crew member mention a particular snack that they like. I'll just overhear it. So guess what? When I get to go by Crafty, I might throw a little snack in for them. And they just, oh my God, they just love it. They, oh my God, TK. But taking care of people, because when you respect your crew and you take care of your crew and actors and everybody, they are going to respect and love you. And they're going to give you their very best.
Right.
So The way you treat people, it's bottom line. So number 5 was the director and editor team, which comes out of your crew and your director because you hired them, really in the beginning.
Right. Your initial. And the director might, the director might help you with some of your crew, such as your DP and your editor, because it's usually directors go with people they are comfortable with and they've worked with before. But also, it always depends on the situation. Like if you're the director, if you're the producer, if you're the DP, don't try to be all of it, but some people have 2 positions.
Yeah, especially on the independent set, but understand this, guys. I worked on the set, I had 4 positions, and it was supposed to be one person for each position. And it stressed me out so bad. And it should have been a coach's call, which, you got to watch that stuff on set. If you see somebody getting overloaded, don't just think they're doing a bad job. Understand that they have so much on their plate and get them help.
And I think it goes under the guise of people always trying to multitask. But the one thing I learned about multitasking is it's dangerous. And the reason it's dangerous is in order to focus on something, you have to lose focus on something else.
Absolutely. Especially when you're working all those long hours on set.
Yeah.
When you're working all those long hours on set and you're multitasking and you're trying to do everything, I mean, it's extremely hard, and don't do it. Try to do it the right way. Do it the right way, and it will happen like it's supposed to.
And you don't need a big team. Like, that's the thing. Because we're independent, we don't need the size. If you watch the end of like blockbuster movies and everything, you don't need that big of a team right away. And I always tell people, and this is from experience. Here's my teaching experience. I often get students who write a commercial script or a short film, and I'm like, and the first question I ask, do you have access to all these locations? And they're like, no. Then why is it in your script? And they're like, well, this is what I want to do. I said, but you're going to shoot this at school. Is it going to look real to people? They're like, no. Then don't. Are you shooting at home? Are you shooting outside? Some kids will, some kids don't. It just varies. But write what you know, and write what you know you have available at your fingertips.
And literally, like the last script I wrote, the first one I'm actually going to shoot, Jade's Heart, it has 9 locations. No, I didn't have access to a strip club, but I got access now for $600 for the day. You know what I mean?
And you can build one if you need to.
Because of the connections. But literally, how many locations did I just say that 90-page script has? 9. 9 locations, and I think 2 of them outside. One is a car, and one is a car, and one is outside of a building. It's the back of a building.
And if you rented a warehouse, you wouldn't have to shoot outside on a car because you could put it around a green screen and do projection. But
So it's a lot of different ways. But like we talked about in the beginning with that script team, like he said, that's part of that script team. Do you have access to all these locations? So that script team making sure that you are not, having a whole bunch of stuff that you don't have access to that's going to take away. So having somebody, I'm telling you, because I can go in, I'll be like, you can do this in there, you can do this in the cafe. So instead of this, let me tell you, I can trim some locations and not lose an ounce of your story, not lose an ounce, because I've just been because I've been on set, because I've learned, like, I'll ask writers, have you ever been on set? They're like, no. I'm like, you need to get on set, because once you get on set, you'll understand what it takes to break down and set up and stuff. So I make sure when I can do consultation with writers, that is my biggest thing. You need to get on set and see how this stuff works, because you can write anything, like you said. You can write jumping off the Empire State Building. You can write everything. How you gonna shoot this?
Right. I often ask.
Yeah, because we have to. But it's all in the training. It's all in it's all in us continuing to learn and continue to trim. It's all in. That's why you have to have the right people around you to really help you. Team number 6, I have as the composer and sound design. Mm-hmm. Sound design and the composers. We had Trinity on. If you didn't get to see that show, it was an amazing segment with Trinity in regards to composing and sound design. And you do need to hire those at the beginning. So we learned that from her. I didn't know. I thought you just bring them in later, but they want to be part of the process so they can understand the full story, the full process, and be able to give you a sound that totally, like, they just didn't throw it in, I guess. You know what I
It's
mean? They
unique
want to
to
be
your
part of the
story. Yeah,
process.
you want something that's unique to your story.
Absolutely.
Because the problem is, I listen. I know a lot of friends that are producers that do music and everything because of what I did before film. But and some of them have made music for my films, but they may go like, "Oh, I got this in a vault." You know, their vote is they made produced a bunch of tracks they're not really using, but not all of them are going to fit your story. Where a composer comes in and they create a uniqueness that surrounds your story and also
Yeah.
builds on the theme and the motif of a story. If you really want to understand that, I'll give you, and I hate to use this, but clear indication, watch Star Wars. Look at everything that has been made around Star Wars. And John Williams has produced a lot of the music for Star Wars. And there's themes built into his music that still connect to the original Star Wars.
Wow.
And so you got to understand that, and so you got all these, Star Wars has what? 9 movies in their thing, but then they have secondary stories, which is about, I think, 3 or 4 movies, TV shows, and they have their own sounds, but they still connect with Star Wars in some way. They still have to keep that connection.
That's awesome.
Because you got to remember, you're part of this universe. And they had other composers come for those things, but you still got to put people in this universe. So you have to think about why you will deal with a composer, and it could be slightly costly, or it could be, it's okay. I'm not going to say costly. I'm going to say these words. You've heard me say this before. It may not cost you a little, may not cost you a lot, but it will cost you.
And that's a cost you have to incur. You have to have music. And I know you guys have seen some films, and you're like, it's funny because when you see a good film, for me, I'm gonna speak for me. When I see a great film, and I don't even notice the music is like, I don't even notice the music. Let me tell you why. When I see a bad film and the music is off, I'll be like, something is wrong with this film. Like, this music is horrible. But when I see a great film with great sound design, I don't even notice the music because it flows so well.
Right.
For me, it's only when the music is thrown off that I'm like, wait a minute, this music is horrible. So it's crazy enough because you would think good sound design, you would notice it. But for me, I notice it when it's bad. That's it.
Yeah, because bad music can mess up a good film.
Oh my God. I'd be like, what the? If they don't turn off this music right here, I'm like, it's crazy.
And there's some scenes that don't need music. That's why you bring in a music supervisor, or you have somebody who understands certain things and they get it. And they can be like, nah, don't put no music here. You want to get the audience, drop the music after this, but don't put anything here. We want the silence to really get into their heart and create a fear or a thrill or whatever. So you have to really understand that.
Yes, when I'm telling y'all about Made, that episode number 7 at the end, I'm gonna put that part in one of my films. It was just a tone, like a what is it called? It's just a tone. It was just this tone, and them scenes were wrapping around this girl. And I'm telling you, it drew me in so deep. I was like, my whole body was just like, oh, it was all tense, everything. And it was just that what is that sound where it just goes, doo? Not a lifeline. It was the lifeline sound, but it wasn't a lifeline.
Like your ears are ringing, like a high pitched sound, like if they exploded like, a bomb or something, like your ears ringing or something. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, that sound design, they did that because it just I was like, oh my God, I already got like where I want to put it in my script. I got to show my director, I already got all that. But I was like, I'm using it. It worked so well. And it wasn't even all it was, like you said, no dialogue, not a whole bunch of music. It was literally that one tone. And that was it. And it was so impactful. It was crazy. It was crazy.
And I've said this before, and this just doesn't go to music or anything. It goes to the creating a film altogether. Period. Answer the question why.
Mm-hmm.
We learn things. It doesn't matter what we tell you or teach you or what we inform you about. Why am I using this shot? Why is this camera angle? What impact am I trying to give with this camera angle? What do I want my audience to read from it? Because it's like a book. Let's just say it like this. There's a literacy to filmmaking. Media has literacy. So it's, what do you want your audience to comprehend, to take away when they watched a specific scene? And the sound puts a piece of that. Everything is about reading it. So I don't just want the emotion. I want you to understand the character. I want you to dive into it. I will say there's a danger to social media. A lot of content is made on social media, and it's giving you, it's giving away stuff. Like it's predictable. You see where things are going. And you're going to get that. But in most cases, I want you to read it to figure out where it's going. Like I used to sit with my parents and be like, they're like, who did it? And they have a twist. You thought this person did it because everything led up to this person doing it. Because they wanted you to assume it. Yeah. But
and discovery.
Yeah, but earlier in the movie, they already told you who did it. You just didn't see it because it was so subtle. Mm-hmm. But it was there. But you wanted to believe that this person is the villain, or this person caused the problem, or this, you wanted to believe those things. And we often read into films, but the excitement is trying to figure it out as we're watching it and seeing the puzzle pieces unfold. Yeah,
and that's the thing. We want to keep people intrigued because people are nosy. That's why they watch all these reality shows and they watch soap operas or TV shows that are like soap operas or weekly TV shows because we want to know what happened next. That's why we'll binge watch the series. We're nosy, so we got to keep people intrigued. So there is a very thin line between on the nose and foreshadowing.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say the beauty about that is your team, you have so many heads come together and give a perspective. As one person, we can read you, but as different people with different perspectives coming and building a script and building a story, you can't read that.
Yep, exactly. And that goes into the next team, which is your test screening group. Because they're going to be like, oh, wait, that music's too loud right there. I couldn't even hear what they were saying. The test screening group is going to give you, and that's going to be your ride or die. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. I'm going to tell you the truth. Because they have to.
Yeah.
I've gotten my feelings hurt a whole bunch of times, but here is the thing. And I tell everybody, anytime I hand you a script or anything I've done, I need your honest opinion because it is not about me. It is about the project.
Right.
And that is number one. When we come into this, like I said, if we are created to create, we want to do the best job we can in what is put in our hands. So we're doing our best job by allowing people to speak into that and give us the honest truth about what needs to be fixed and corrected. Mm-hmm. Bottom line, period.
There you go.
So test screening group. Then once you pass the test screening, and guys, these are off the cuff. I didn't read a book or make a list, but this is just from experience and what because I've been watching, which is your research. You've been watching how other projects flow and how things go. So the test screening group. So after the test screening group and everything is really, I don't know which is next. It's one of these two, but with publicity and marketing. Publicity and marketing. And that's when you're hiring producers. Like I have a producer working on one of my projects. She's like, T, I'm just letting you know I have an end to Tubi. So the publicity and marketing, I've already at the top. You got to think about that, because if you're really trying to put this thing on streaming, you're really doing your research with the people that are connected to the project, because people have connections. Like we just talked about earlier, people have connections. So she's already I already got an end to the Tubi. And somebody else we have on the show, he's like, I got an end to Tubi, or I got an end to this.
Yeah, we had quite a few people that came on the show that have into Tubi and have had at least one or two projects on Tubi or more.
Absolutely, or more. So having that in mind is like I'm the type of person, I know that me and Michael Melvin, like, he's like, make sure everything from the beginning, the end is already in the beginning. For me, I'm the type of person, I flow more because I don't come up with this stuff. God gives me this stuff. So I just kind of flow with stuff and do my research as it go. And then the team put together the team and yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. But knowing that if these people are already offering connections and stuff like that, and they've already willing to give up stuff for you, I mean, those are people, like you said, partner. Now we're talking about partnering because you're bringing something to the table. But publicity and marketing, it's just not Facebook and Instagram. I put it on Instagram.
So,
what I mean? We literally have to have a press release. We have to have a team for this.
So here's me. You put them as what, number 6, you said?
Right now we're at number 8.
Number 8. Okay, so publicity and marketing, your public relations, your marketing, your community relation team, to me, they come in at number 2 with your director and your producer, because from day one, you need to be considering your marketing. I think when I look at businesses and I talk to people about businesses, first thing I say, well, do you have a marketing plan? When I wrote my business plan for my company, the next thing I wrote along while I was writing it was my marketing plan. How am I going to market this? What am I going to do to get certain things out? What are different ways to connect with the audiences or let people know I exist? Are you in the community? Like, we have to, I think the mistake is with independent filmmakers, and I've seen this, too many people are busy trying to sell you to watch their stuff. Right? They're trying to sell it to you, but you don't even know who they are. Right? I know who Michael B. Jordan is. Why do I know him? He stays in the news. He stays in media. He does things in the community, so it's printed in the media about it. He also has other connections. We're not privy to the backroom deals and the conversations because we're not in that part of the industry, but that's what's happening. Okay. People, and I'm saying we're not privy is we don't hang out with Michael B. Jordan, but the guy who hangs out with Mike, he knows, hey, I got to take Michael over here to meet with HBO for him to do his animated cartoon. I got to take him over here to talk to Netflix about the project he's going to do with them. I got to take him over here, and so there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that people don't know, but the marketing has already started. Right. The marketing, once they tell you that such and such is signed on to a movie, that's marketing.
The marketing. Yep. And I got, like you said, so when I do my pitch packages, I put a publicity marketing plan in there. Mm-hmm. So I haven't hired the team until I finish the project, because I don't want to hire a team until I have a project for them to watch. So I put
because as an independent, that's more costly, where the studios have that money.
Right. So I do put it in there, like you said. So I already know from the beginning, this particular film is going here because this is the type of film, this is where it's going to work well at. So like Jade's Heart, I know Jade's Heart is going to do well on TV, period. Because of the content, because of what does well on Tubi, what I've seen, what I've heard from other independent filmmakers where people are making money off Tubi. Like, I'm like, this film would do well on Tubi.
It'll do well on Tubi. It'll do well on All Black. It would do well on BET. It will garner those audiences, and it definitely could go to a Netflix.
Absolutely, especially the quality of the shooting. Because the quality of the shooting, gives you more. And that's why, back to the crew, you want to hire hire people who are good, like your DP and your cameraman and the editor. I edit. Okay, well, send me some links. Let me see. Send me some names of some movies you've edited. Let me see.
And you know what's interesting? I was just thinking this while we talking, because you know me, I'm already trying to turn a couple of my stuff into books, right? But Jade's Heart could be a book, or could have a prelude book. You know, it could be a short novel about Jade's mother. It builds up to it. Then it gets you into watching the movie, because you're like, wait, that's a sequel to the book. Well, and it's all about marketing. Everything comes down to marketing something and having the product. And once you got products in hand, you get your audience. And I mean, here's the biggest mistake I learned from. This is Michael Melvin talking. I did my first feature film, and I'm working on my next projects now. As TK knows, I'm trying to get my grind together, but a lot of stuff is happening. The mistake I say I always made with my first feature was I didn't promote it beyond social media. I did. Like, I went places and I showed it. I screened it. In film festivals and stuff like that. But I thought about something. Why aren't independent filmmakers making 60, 30-second commercials? Because guess what? Everybody else is. And it legitimizes the project. It might not be that you can get the entire country, but if you get the right pockets, you have a black film. You know Atlanta, New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, LA, Dallas, Houston. You know certain areas are prominent areas, New Orleans, that you can promote a certain film. You don't have to reach the entire country.
Right.
You know that you can get your ad. If you know what your ad is talking about, if it's a sports film, then I'm going to try to get it on ESPN, as you know, the local TV stations in those areas. What is it going to cost me? When's the best time to run it? And that should be part of your budget. Figuring those things out. If you got a $20,000 movie, you got a $40,000 movie. And the reason I'm going to say that is, if your movie costs you $20,000 to make, take the other $20,000 to promote it. Go to Comic-Cons or festivals. You know that they have they have different things happening throughout the year that are black promoted, whether it's a Juneteenth, Stone Cold Picnic, AFRAM, which is in Baltimore. You got all these things in different places. That's why this networking thing is so important for filmmakers. You need to know what's going on where, because you can show up and you can have filmmakers should get together and have a booth. They should have booths at these different places in different states and different cities, and they should have their posters up. Maybe they have all their trailers put together. Some of the filmmakers are selling DVDs, if that's the case, or Blu-rays. Maybe you're helping somebody pay for their Blu-ray copies to get out there. So you pay them, you give them $400 or $500 to put your trailer on their film. So when people turn on their DVD, your trailer runs with the warning and like they always have. See, this is why business is so important and connecting with people is so important, because now you come up with these ideas. How do I do this? If you're an author and you have a trailer for your book, you should pay a filmmaker to put your trailer on their film to attach it, so people go, oh, let me go check this book out. That could become a movie. The trailer's that good.
Yep. Staying open-minded. Like you're saying, staying open-minded is so many different little things that we get so tunnel vision on making the project that we're not, opening up. And that's why the team is important. Your team is important. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Pray about this. Maybe you can do this. All those tidbits of information, you're able to open up and start being creative with your creative project in regards to marketing and everything. It's so much. But, the thing is, it's just like not being exposed. I mean, it's just kind of like, oh, I didn't even know this career existed. So now I'm being exposed, and it's kind of like this thing, like we're talking about now, basically opening your mind to the different elements that you could be using in regards to marketing and getting, to the place God wants you in the creative journey.
Yeah. So we're going to throw some questions in there, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to start with Melanie because she asked a question. I'm going to go find that question. I should have been looking while you were talking. My apologies, Melanie. But her question is, and I'm going to pop it up on the screen. Here it is. Boom. What's your top few go-to resources from the library of books that you have?
For me as a writer, it's Save the Cat in the Screenwriter's Bible.
Okay, so for TK, it's Save the Cat and Screenwriter's Bible, and I should have had my Save the Cat. I do have it. So I'm going to show you the books she was talking about because we both got them. This is the Screenwriter's Bible. You've probably seen the pictures in the group or in the thing we posted. So this is Screenwriter's Bible, and this is Save the Cat. All right. And so just check them out. So Blake Snyder, Save the Cat, and David Trotter is Screenwriter's Bible.
And let me tell you this, Melanie, the thing that helped me the most, and I have to do some more research because the creative, there used to be a screenwriting magazine. Mm-hmm. They had a conference every year, and these people that wrote these books, they literally taught classes. And the first time I went, I came home, I was whooped. I had a headache. Oh my God. So the next time I went, I emptied my brain and I went in because these people, they taught these classes for an hour and 25 minutes and they gave you 5 minutes of questions. And it wasn't, I had to learn when I first started writing that I was going to a lot of festivals and they were having panels. That didn't help me learn how to write. And when I found these boot camps and these conferences, let me tell you, I learned so much information from these things. Like, it was crazy. So in regards to resources as well, yes, great film, film festivals are great for networking and to watch films and stuff. But if you're going to spend your money, make sure you're actually learning as well. Because there are a lot of panels and they are not teaching anything.
Right. For me, okay, so on the production side, there's a couple of books, and I showed this last week. It was Producer to Producer, so this is on producing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there you go. All right, Maureen Ryan, Producer to Producer. Definitely check that out. Then there's this other one, good book. I use it for teaching. The Film Directing Fundamentals. Okay, see your film before shooting. All right. Now, these are things to help you get used to the industry, to have that talk to lingo, because there's a motion picture television language. So, the grammar of a shot. Okay. So think about that, Christopher J. Bowen, the grammar of the shot. All right. And the grammar of the edit, same author, Christopher J. Bowen. So grammar of the shot, grammar of the edit. They look very similar, but you got to look at the titles. But this helps you with editing, with shooting, preparing to make a film, just to educate yourself about it. So keep that in mind.
To educate yourself, but listen, it is not necessarily your job to write, produce, direct, edit, sound design, lighting, camera, sound. You want to be aware, but these are not necessarily all of your jobs. I just want to stress that again. I
think it's if sometimes people know, you got to figure out what you're really good at, and then it's not so you look at what you're good at, what you want to focus on and being great at and get better, right? Then you want to look at what you would like to know and learn, that you may also want to do. So somebody may say, I want to be a screenwriter, but I also want to direct. Okay, so then you got to study directing. And in studying directing, you should study everything. You're going to know how to deal with actors and so forth. But directors know how a film is done from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they're part of the entire process. The only person outside of that is the producer. The producer is from the beginning to the end. Unless you're the screenwriter and director and you came to somebody and say, I need a producer. I need somebody to find the money and the things I need to make this movie. See that, and that's why I say a lot of things are determined by what you're trying to do in your process. So it's easy to go, okay, go hire a producer. If you're the producer, you need to know what to do as the producer, what your job is, what your responsibilities are, what you bring to the table. Some films have multiple producers. They can have 10 producers on it. Some of those producers did work. Some of the producers are actors. They were like, hey, I'll forgo this amount of money, but I want producer credit.
That's those little tricks like that. And when you build your team and they give you those tidbits, because I learned that, they may forego because there are certain fees that they have to pay with the union. And sometimes they forego certain fees to get certain credits. So it's just those little tricks of the trade, those little tidbits of information. I was going to say something else when you were talking about that, but I can't remember. Go ahead. And what other questions we have?
Melanie said she did the Screenwriter's Bible. Because I told her about it years ago. There you go.
Perfect.
Okay. Darrell said, speaking of marketing, how can I market my films better at film festivals? I want to make my festival experience better, even if that means having a vending table at the door. So festivals tell you to come to market. They tell you to bring a poster, make posters. They tell you to have postcards that you can hand out with the time of your screenings. You're going there. So here's things you need to have festivals. And I'm going to say this. When I went to festivals, there's some ones I've missed. I need to go to a Sundance. I need to go to ABFF. I need to go to Martha Vineyards. Those are the 3 I'm missing so far of the festivals. Out of all the festivals I've attended, those are the 3 I've missed so far. Only because I'm teaching or something's happening during those times. So here's the thing. I say t-shirt. Make a shirt for your film. Wear it. Or your production company. Wear it. Forget Calvin Klein. Forget all that stuff. Wear right now, wear your merchandise. Okay? That's number 1. Posters. Have posters. Have posters for the festival to post up near the theater or at the theater you're playing at. Have posters to give out. Have people autograph posters and give them to people. Listen, when people feel like you gave them something, they go, oh yeah, I got this poster from such and such. The actor signed it and this person. Have that. Postcards. People can sign that too. Have the postcards with you. You can give out the time and date and stuff. Get it where you're putting stuff into people's hands. Now they're going to get a lot of stuff, but that walk away means something. If you have a table, tables can be very expensive. So I say, and this is me business thinking, find other filmmakers that you can align yourself with if you're going to have a booth, and that you guys share the booth. And the days of your screening, the day before your screening, you're there in your booth. The day before their screening, they're there. You swap out, in and out. You share it. And then after your screening, you're all there talking about your film, showcasing bits and pieces, telling people where you're going to be at if that's the next thing, or if you're selling DVDs or whatever you're going to do. But festivals are going to be hard because everybody's at the festivals to see the work and then go to the workshops. One of the biggest gripes I used to have with film festivals is the missing workshops. I love workshops because as much insight as I can get, that's only going to make me better. I don't know. TK?
So the two things I have to add to that is, one, when you look online, find out, when you're doing your research on the film festival, find out if it's a film festival where they're going to be there. It's a filmmakers film festival, or is it mainly like an audience film festival where they have more people coming to screen,
Right.
come to see, to watch, because that's more your audience. Filmmaker to filmmaker is kind of like we're talking in the group, how we're talking in the Black Filmmakers Lounge community, how people are trying to sell themselves to watch their films. It's like bringing film to the beach.
Right.
So that's number one. And the second thing is, check when you do your research, find out if there are distributors at this film festival. Because if you're going to pay all this money to go to the film festival, you want access to distribution if possible.
And
because if not, you're bringing sand to the beach.
Yeah, and think about this. The number one reason I've attended live film festivals was to make connections. Like some people you guys see pop on this show or every now and then. Some of them I met at film festivals. Some people I've made connections with. I met at film festivals or some type of expo because that's my network. So to me, that's a great reason to go to film festivals, because you never know who you're going to meet. And don't talk about film, talk about it. It's your passion. If you're doing this, it's your passion, right? And have a conversation with people. But don't try to sell everybody you talk to. I think that's the worst thing people could ever do, is because when it's, I'm going to tell you like this. The truth is, I hate salesmen. I don't hate them, but I'm not you can't just sell me. When I go look for a house, I know what I'm looking for. So if you start talking my ear off, trying to tell me all the bells and whistles, and what I'm looking for is not there, that conversation's over. When I buy a car, I had a salesman try to tell me, why don't you get it in red? I'm not looking for red. I only buy silver. I want a silver car. A certain gray or silver. That's it. I don't want red. I don't want black. No, this is what I want. And that's the thing. You got to gauge the people you're talking to. What if they're not interested in those types of stories that you're selling? What if that's not their thing? What if somebody says, I just love Westerns. I just like watching. That's all I watch. You're still going to tell them about your love story movie that's not a Western? I mean, yeah, it might sound good, but I know for sure that everybody's not going to watch my work. Boom. I think the first thing is, when I teach my students how to look at the demographics, I say, be specific on who you're aiming this at. They go, oh, everyone. That is the worst demographics you could ever make, because everyone's not going to watch it. Everybody's not. You're setting yourself up for tears or failure, or you better have some thick skin, because you might have an audience of 10,000 people in a certain area who you could have missed out on because you're focused on everybody. And so you got to think
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any more questions we have in the
let's see. So no, that is it right there.
Okay, so Leonard, so the last piece, really
Leonard.
not the last piece, but
Well, Leonard's question.
Yeah, Leonard's question from last week, but one of the last pieces, it may not be the very, very last, but one of the last pieces to building a team is the distribution, the distribution. But we kind of talked about that with the publicity, marketing, the connections, and the networking. Mm-hmm. But Leonard asked how to build a team during COVID. That's freaking the best time, because, unfortunately, we're still in COVID. I just made it to Austin, the other day, and right before I got here, the level went up to a medium high. And I know
going
people
up now. They're going up. This has been going up.
Numbers are going up, yeah. And I know people with COVID, and it's hitting them harder. It's hitting them hard this time. But the best time is kind of like I lost, some of I lost weight. I lost like 32 pounds during COVID because I didn't have nothing else to do. Like I was at home. I was like, I wasn't ripping and running. I didn't have all these meetings to attend and all this stuff. That was the best time. So when we're not, because also they're canceling concerts and stuff too. I have one of my good friends does concerts and shows and stuff, and they're canceling concerts again. So they're they're starting to back down off of them. This is the best time because you have time to research. You have time to research because we're not ripping and running and we're not in the streets like we were before. So this is the best time to do your research and reach out to people and build a team. Because guess what? They ain't ripping and running in the streets like you ain't ripping and running in the streets. So they sitting at home too.
That depends. Some people are still in them streets, but
Not as much. Not as much.
Here's to me, TK's right. Like right now, you see all these people in the feed. Start talking to them. Start saying, "What's up? How you doing?" But don't go in trying to sell your film. Go in. How about this? Don't talk about yourself. Ask them about themselves.
That's good. And you can say, what do you have going on? Then you start the conversation and then let them talk about themselves, because there are people that really like to talk about themselves.
And take interest in them. Like take interest in each other. Good communications, build that. So then, because here's the thing, when you're an active listener, you start to notice some things if people ain't on the up and up. Monitor people's behavior on social media. See what they posting, what they sharing. Listen, I look at people's pages quickly, but I look at their posts. I look at what they put out there, what they're talking about. And if it's more on their page about their gripes or problems, I'm out.
Out.
You can't say I'm out.
If y'all can see me, I'm holding up the peace sign.
Because we all got problems. We all got issues. Actually, nothing on my page is telling you what I'm going through right now. To be truthful, and I'm going through a lot. But you don't know that. Because you know what? I know everybody's going through something. And you probably, and truth is, no one's going through anything worse than I am. Or no one's, I'm not going through anything worse than anybody else. It happens. This is life. It's reality. And you know what? But I look at it as it's a connection. Hey, you got your mom and did this? Okay, your mom? Yeah, mine too. Your dad? Yeah, mine too. Or I didn't have, I have people I have conversations. They're like, I didn't have a dad. But I had to learn from what relationships look like from watching TV and being around the people and their dad. And so that's the thing. You're going to learn great stories. You're going to get ideas. You connect. And I think this is the Black Filmmakers Lounge, literally, figuratively, to Michael Melvin, was an actual lounge where filmmakers get to come, sit down, and talk. Because everybody else got clubs. You got fraternities, you got sororities, you got teacher clubs, you got all different organizations, but filmmakers aren't, they're busy selling, they're not busy enough combining, because many hands make light work. And if we start putting our heads together and start really having genuine conversations and genuine perspectives and really care about one another rising up, then you got something. But if you're not using the lounge as it should be, TK and I both checked into the lounge to be live where everybody can come on and talk to each other. Only 2 people ever got on this whole 3, unless we were on Clubhouse. We were in Clubhouse, we had a group. That's how we met some people that you've met on the show. But when we did the ones on Facebook, Yolanda, happy belated birthday, Yolanda.
Happy birthday.
Came on. And I got to see her son, her documentary about her son, who was a filmmaker. Again, you got to do those things. When we have that, and we'll try to get it during the summer, hop on, because we're going to take a pause from the show. We initially were just going to take a pause in July to revamp, to get things prepared and get things going, because some people on here are working on a movie set, TK. Other people got other things going on. I'll be teaching film and stuff. So we all got something happening. We wanted to give y'all a break. And we wanted to break. And this is a good time for you to be filming or do some shorts, work on some projects. I challenge y'all, man. Go do some 60-second to 3-minute short films. And let's come back in September and start screening them on the Black Filmmakers Lounge.
Oh, that's cool. Y'all like that? I like that.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
That would be so cool.
I can even throw out, if you want, I can give you a topic for the month and you make your short around that topic.
That's cool.
Because that's the only way you're going to get this is you start doing it.
Ask Tanya, acting like Tanya.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she did.
So
she actually had her screening, one of her film. She actually had her film screened at Cannes in the Cannes Showcase.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And she was inspired by watching us. She was like, yeah. Oh, and she'll hit you up. Y'all my mentors, and the thing is,
yeah.
I say find a mentor, find people you can talk to. By the way, Jacoby, congratulations, bruh. Welcome to my alma mater. I want to see how you doing in it. If you need help, let me know. I'm here for you, bruh. He's back in grad school at Academy of Arts University.
Okay, that's not the one where we went with, right?
That's where we went.
That's where we went? Oh,
TK went with me. But yeah, that's where he's at. So,
all right, congratulations, Nicole.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's still going to be beneficial, but keep in mind, they're not us.
They're not us.
But I enjoyed the experience. There's so much I learned from it. So,
yeah,
and I kept a lot of my information and knowledge from it.
Absolutely.
I did though. So think about this. All right. Cause we've been on long. We gave you some extra time because we really wanted to make this an hour. The only reason we went a little bit longer because of the technical difficulties. But when it's just TK and I, we're going to just give you an hour. We're going to try to work out the kinks and the technical difficulties, but we do know different locations, different internet services, all that stuff. Yeah. Everybody's wonky is whatever. But at the end of the day, we want to see you guys make films. We want to see you guys network. I can't tell you to stop trying to sell everybody. I mean, that's just, some people have it ingrained in their brain that they need to sell everyone. But what I will tell you, what I've been saying for the longest, in order to benefit, you need to be beneficial.
Absolutely.
So that is my 60-second, by the way. In order to benefit, once again, you need to be beneficial. And so if you want good results, what do you put into the people around you in your teams? What are you offering them? As you're building a team, what are you offering people that makes them want to sign on to your team? In some cases, it has to be money. Is it enough? Some cases, some people, the money's important, but the project is just as equally as important because they want to put their name on something that means something. And I see a lot of filmmakers get mad when actors don't want to promote their films because those actors have stepped in to get the money, but they didn't believe in that project. And if every project you putting out, your actors aren't believing in, but they come to act in, ask yourself a question. Am I getting the right people in my circle to make sure I'm producing the right type of content? And am I making sure that I'm stepping up my quality with every project? My second project can't look like my first project. My fifth project and my first project should not look anything alike. The quality, the storytelling, everything should be improving every time you make something.
Absolutely. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. Every single time your quality has to get better. And like we say, when people like you as a person, and I learned that being a supervisor, I'm going to let you guys go. When people like you as a person, people are willing to jump in, help you extra, do whatever they can to make your project succeed because they really like you as a person. So always keep that in mind. That's why it's great to treat people well, not just, come work for me, but actually treat them well and actually do right by them. Because if you do right by them, I promise you, they're going to give you their best and they're going to do right by you.
Exactly. So think about that. TK, did you got your 60 second, Jim?
I didn't. That wasn't my 60 second. I thought that was my
60 second. All right. That was TK 60 second, Jim, y'all. So, once again, we'd like to thank you guys for joining us here at the Black Filmmakers Lounge. The Black Filmmakers Lounge is a place where independent filmmakers, whether novice or professionals, can come together to gain insight and perspective through education, information, networking, and to discuss industry best practices that will advance the Black independent film community. So we like to appreciate you. I'm Michael Melvin, my co-host or host, Tamira TK Anderson. As you don't see her, but she's here.
I'm here.
And we appreciate you guys for joining us. Melanie, Jacoby, Darrell, Tone, Jaden. I mean, everybody who's here. Derek Hammond, he was here last week. I don't know, Facebook, sometimes we can see the names, sometimes we don't. But I know certain words that people say, and as we go, oh, that's Derek. So we appreciate you guys, Lewis, and everyone who has been supporting us from the very beginning. Remember that the Black Filmmakers Lounge is about creating our own space to succeed together. Keep that in mind and be strategic, intentional, and authentic. We love you guys, and we're out. Peace.
Like, subscribe, share.
What?
Like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, share.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to join the group, the community group, the YouTube channel, the Instagram page. We're going to start doing a lot of things in those places, especially in our absence here. Unfortunately, we will not be back next week because I have to do some travels. If there's a way to hop on, we'll figure it out. But currently, right now, we won't be on. In July, we're going to give you guys a break. So we will be back in August. But if we're coming back on anytime this month, we'll send out a message. But for right now, we're taking a little seasonal break, mid-season break or whatever. We're taking a break. So we love you guys. We out. If you got questions, send us messages so we can prepare next shows for you. Peace.
Reach out to us, guys.
We out.